What's up, NBA fans? Dom2K on the mic, and a quick note before this video starts, I have now officially passed over 10,000 subscribers. I had a Q&A video planned to happen before I reached 10,000 subs, and I was planning it in my head a couple of days ago because I was at 9,500. Then at the end of that day, I just out of nowhere reached 10,000. Now I'm at like 10,600, and to be quite honest with you, I don't have a clue where I'm going to be by the time my next video comes out, which will probably be my Q&A video. So I wanted to give you guys a chance to ask me whatever you want. My social media links are on the screen. You can send me a message wherever you want, but your best bet is tweeting me, DMing me in my Twitter, and you can message me on Facebook, but you know, the choice is yours. Those are probably your two best bets right there. Q&A is open to anything you want to know about me. I'm gonna answer as many as I can. I'll paste your handle and your question on the screen or whatever. Ask me whatever you want, and yeah, whatever account of subscribers I'm at by the time that Q&A video comes out is what it's gonna be. So if I'm at like 11,005 subs by the time that comes out, then it's gonna be a 11,005 subscriber Q&A. So yeah, thank y'all for the support, and go ahead and ask me whatever y'all want. Kevin Garnett, aka the Big Ticket, is one of the most unique players of all time. People may not notice it now, but the way our game has evolved has a lot to do with him. He's kind of the bridge between traditional big men and the demigods we now see playing in the front court. At the time he entered the league, big men were traditionally bruisers that lived in the paint, such as Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Oakley. But in the late 90s, suddenly in came Garnett, who stood at nearly 7 feet tall, had a wingspan longer than 7 feet, could run and jump like a guard, grab rebounds and play defense, and then he could play both in and out of the paint. When you think about it, that sounds similar to the new age of players such as KD, Anthony Davis, and pretty much every other big guy that's became proficient outside of the paint. They picked a great player to imitate and build off of, because Garnett will soon retire as one of the best players ever with a championship, an MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year award, 26,000 points, and many other statistical accolades. These young stars may be able to duplicate those achievements one day, but one thing they won't ever duplicate is Garnett's intensity. And in this case, intensity actually means a couple of things. When I said KG was one of the most unique players of all time, I wasn't just talking about his basketball ability, because he combined that with the ability to throw almost anyone off their game with the use of trash talk. Oh, and this isn't just your average everyday trash talk, this is advanced trash talk. Now, I'll give you some examples before I head into the 3 top incidents I want to talk about, and I didn't want to rank these ones I'm about to tell you because, well, they were actually pretty malicious and they don't really translate into any funny stories, but they do serve the purpose of proving my statement about him not having any boundaries. Exhibit A, Tim Duncan. Duncan is one of the quieter guys in the league and has rarely ever been in altercations with anybody. Hell, I don't even have any immediate examples that come to mind. However, there's a rumor out there, and I want to stress that it's a rumor. That being said, Garnett is known for going overboard with his intense trash talk, so it's very believable. On May 9th, 1999, the Wolves and Spurs were playing Game 1 of that playoffs. Keep in mind, this was Mother's Day. As Duncan stepped to the free throw line, Garnett is said to have told Duncan, "Happy Mother's Day, motherfucker." If you don't know the significance of that, Duncan's mother died of breast cancer the day before his 14th birthday. Yeah, see, I couldn't rank that because A, it's too vulgar, and B, it's a rumor, but with the long list of times Garnett has said and done whatever to get in somebody's head, it could easily be true. Exhibit B will be Charlie Villanueva, and this one is even more believable because Charlie tweeted it after the game himself. During the game, KG and Villanueva got into it, and the tweet said that Garnett had called him a cancer patient. Charlie suffers from alopecia, which results in hair loss. Garnett defended this by saying it was a miscommunication and that he actually told Charlie he was cancerous to his team and this league. But again, if you watch the NBA, you know how Kevin Garnett talks, you know how he gets under people's skin. Did he really say these type of things? Hell, we'll never know for sure, but that's why the video is called Stories about Kevin Garnett's trash talk. Keyword there is stories. Speaking of that, let's lighten up the mood just a little bit and get into some stories that might make you laugh. Number 3, Kevin Garnett will make you sad. Now, it really wouldn't take you more than one game to figure out why playing against KG might make you cry. The dude punches himself, bangs his head against walls. Hell, he actually made one of his own teammates, Glenn Big Baby Davis, cry, and that's where the nickname came from. But that's not the situation I'm talking about, cause it's technically not trash talk against Glenn Davis. What I'm talking about is Steven Adams' account of Garnett's antics. In his depiction of it, Adams clarifies that KG has never spoken to him directly, but that's actually the part that makes his story even more wicked. He said that Ibaka has been the victim of his banter. However, Adams recalls that just standing next to him and listening in on what he says to himself is enough to make you question why you're playing basketball. Adam says, quote, yeah, it's like really weird. He's talking to himself, but he like makes you feel bad because he mentions you in it. You're like, what the hell? This is crazy. I walk away so I don't hear it because then, I don't know, I'll get real sad. Adam goes on to talk about how him and Perkins are just legendary trash talkers and what they can say to make you depressed during a game. It's pretty amazing that Garnett says enough without actually saying it to you to get in your head, because most players who tried this would probably just gain the reputation of a fake tough guy. Although some have called Garnett fake tough, there's no question players still take him seriously because he's clearly gotten under the skin of many players. To me, that's the difference I'm talking about, because other guys probably wouldn't be taken seriously if they did what he does. It's unfortunate that Adams wouldn't fully disclose what Garnett said about him or to Serge Ibaka, because I'm sure we'd get some quotables out of that. KG, if you're out there listening, maybe in your retirement you can spend time writing a book on all the foul shit you said to other players over the course of your career, cause I know I'd read it. Number 2, got milk? We've all had the distraught moment where we're starving, we pour a bowl of cereal only to find out there's no milk, right? Because I mean, who doesn't like a nice cold bowl of cereal to start the day off? Well, apparently KG does. Now, before I get into the bread and butter, or in this case cereal and milk of the story, I do want to again stress that this video is called Stories About KG's Trash Talk, and this one has been refuted by Lala Anthony herself, meaning it may not be true, but it's still funny as hell nonetheless. Back in 2013, which was the Big Three's last year together, the Celtics were dueling the Knicks in January, who would eventually send them home later in the first round. KG and Melo had been jawing off and on that game, and were tangled up multiple times. Now, there was a time in this game where Melo had seemed to get the best of KG, and that only lasted for a moment, because Garnett resorted to going overboard as he has been accused of many times, and regardless of what he actually said, it totally threw Melo off his game. He lost his cool, and there was a confrontation in mid-court. Now, I don't know about you, but Melo was acting quite a bit like someone who just got told their wife tasted like a breakfast cereal. And if this encounter isn't enough to make you wonder, whatever Garnett said pissed Melo off enough to make him confront KG as the Celtics were boarding their team bus. If you look at how this ended, the Celtics won the game, Melo became victim of one of the funniest trash talk stories ever, and he got a 1-game suspension. It doesn't matter what Garnett said, mission accomplished. He came out on top of this game just using his words. That's a veteran move. Since I like to be fair on this channel, I am going to tell both sides. Lala later said in the book she wrote that Garnett did not say she tasted like Honey Nut Cheerios. She wouldn't clarify what he said, but she did throw in there that her and Garnett were never together, so even if he had said that, she said she thought it would have been a pretty dumb thing to say. As for Melo, he refused to go into detail either, saying, quote, Kevin said things you shouldn't say to a person you have a friendship with or respect for. Melo told him, I'm not some rookie. We've been in this league a while together, so don't treat me the way you treat a rookie. Now, obviously the words were probably a lot more rough than that, but that's the political quote we got. About confronting KG at the bus, Melo said, quote, I wanted to talk to KG, and I think it was something we both needed to get off our chests and see what was really the problem. There were no altercations, it was just words and a conversation we just needed to have. Now, maybe it's just the way I am, but I'm not sure what you could say to me on a basketball court that would get me so rattled that I gotta come see you in the hallway after the game. Trash talk happens on the court and most people just leave it there, but for me to come see you after the game, I don't know, maybe if me and my wife are living separately and you tell me she tastes like a breakfast cereal and I'm already salty that we're going through those problems, just maybe that might be enough for me to come see you, I don't know. Do you think that's what KG actually said? Who knows, but until one of them actually comes forward and tells us what really happened, the Honey Nut legacy shall live on.
Martin and Chandler will play together, which has rarely happened since Martin came in with the Knicks signing a 10-day contract in February.
Number 1, the ultimate disrespect. I'm gonna do my best not to laugh throughout this one because the disrespect is just far too real here. Now, if you didn't know, Noah has basically hated KG the whole time he's been in the league, and if you ever wondered why, well, here's probably a pretty good explanation. After everything I've told you, even if he's one of your favorite players, it isn't hard to see why one wouldn't like him on the opposite team, but this one's just crushing. Paul Pierce recalls the time they were playing the Bulls and Noah was a rookie. I don't have an exact date or situation for this game, but we know it was somewhere between 07 or 08 cause that's when he got drafted. We know by now Kevin Garnett would probably say just about anything to gain a competitive advantage over his opponent, and Pierce recalls, quote, one time he asked Noah if he could rub through his hair like a female or something, and I know that kinda made Noah hot. And this was when Noah was a rookie too. I remember Noah looked up to KG. Alright, let's just stop right there for a moment. That's disrespectful as hell. We've all seen Noah's hair. KG's playing mind games, asking to rub through it, equating it to a female is funny as fuck. Sick and twisted all at the same time. But that's not even the crushing part. Pierce continues. He was like, man, KG, I had your poster on my wall. I looked up to you, man. And then Garnett just said something like that and was like, fuck you, Noah. I was like, whoa, this kid is fresh out of college, looks up to KG, just said he had his poster on the wall, and he tells him that. It crushed him. It crushed Noah. And ever since then, Noah has had no love for KG at all. Most of us here have a favorite player. Imagine making it to the NBA, getting to play against one of your idols that inspired you to get there. You're ready to thank him for what he's done for your life, and he belittles you like that, especially with the hair part. Those are fighting words. I personally think it's hilarious, and to be honest, Noah probably should have expected that. It's pretty basic knowledge that on the court, if you're not wearing the same jersey as KG, there's only one rule for trying to be friendly with him. You don't. And so, there you have it. Those were a few stories about Kevin Garnett's trash talk. It's a shame that the world is so politically correct that we can't get too much of the inside scoop about how players really feel and what they actually say on the court. I don't know about you guys, but some of my favorite moments in NBA history come from the wired up games and where we get to hear players interact. It just makes them seem a bit more human to hear what they have to say. Digging into the mind of someone as obsessed and intense as Kevin Garnett would be the ultimate treat for any curious NBA fan like myself. KG's career is sadly coming to an end with the rest of our favorite players from the 2000s, but I expect more stories from their times in the league to slowly release like these. What are some of your favorite Kevin Garnett intensity stories? I only covered 3, so I know there's a bunch out there I missed. Leave your comment below, I'd love to read them. I'm Dom2K, and I'll see you guys next video.